Hello boys and girls, this is Miss Martin Archer. Today we're going to look at water pollution. So all you grade 5 boys and girls, get ready, get your pencils, get your notebook out, and let's put on our listening ears. Alright, water pollution. What is water pollution? Water pollution occurs when harmful substances, often chemicals or microorganisms, contaminate a stream, river, lake, ocean, our trenches, our ponds, or other body of water, degrading water quality and rendering it toxic to humans or the environment. That is water pollution. Again, water pollution occurs when harmful substances, often chemicals or microorganisms, contaminate a stream, river, lake, ocean, trenches, ponds, or other body of water, degrading the water quality and rendering it toxic to humans or the environment. Now, what causes water pollution? I know you boys and girls at home know what I am talking about. Yes, what are the causes of water pollution? Water is uniquely vulnerable to pollution, known as universal solvent. When we talk about universal solvent, we simply talking about it's something that almost anything, 95% of the things can be dissolved in. Water is able to dissolve more substances than any other liquid on earth. Imagine how valuable water is, and yet it's vulnerable to pollution. It's the reason why water is so easily polluted. Toxic substances from farms, towns, and factories readily dissolve into the mix with it, causing water pollution. So all of those toxic waste and so on that runs in our water, that causes water pollution. Now, how water pollution is caused? Now, when you and I, when we dump our garbage in the water, that is one way. Through oil spills. And you know what we're talking about, boys and girls, isn't that so? Yes. Now, when farmers wash their spray cans in water, when people put poisonous substances such as cyanide in the water, it causes the fishes to die. When the water is mixed with organic waste, for example, sewage. Now, that is our wastewater that goes down the toilet. Yes, if that water should come in contaminated with other water, that is what causes water pollution. It causes the water to be unsafe for human consumption or for the environment. So we have to be careful. Effects of water pollution. Untreated sewage, such as urine, feces, being discharged into rivers. That's one effect of water pollution. Another effect, solid waste. Solid waste being dumped directly into the river. I would have seen time and time again, they have these plastic bags and they go and they swing it into the water. Right, those are solid waste being dumped directly into the river. Then we have oil spills. Oil spills from drilling for fossil fuels. All right. Then we have pesticides. Pesticides from farmers. You know, when you see the farmers with a spray can on the back and they spraying and they spraying and they spraying. They have pesticide, they have weedicide, and we have lakes, we have rivers nearby. Now when the rain falls, what you think is going to happen? All of that is going to wash into the lakes, the rivers, and the trenches nearby, even our ponds. Right, so pesticide from farmers runs off into nearby lakes, trenches, rivers, ponds, and so on. Then we have water. The water becomes stagnant and eventually cause unpleasant or a very stink smell. Now, if we don't clean these drains, if we don't keep them clean, what do you think is going to happen? Yes, they're going to be clogged with the same things that we're throwing, the plastic bags that we're knotting, the empty bottles that we're throwing. Yes, and now the drains don't have anywhere to run because it's all clogged up, right? So it becomes stagnant, and after it becomes stagnant, if it's not running and fresh water is not coming in, it's going to start smelling, right? And it's going to have flies and all these different things. So people can suffer from waterborne diseases. It can also result in the spread of malaria from mosquitoes. Water polluted with sewage causes deadly diseases such as cholera, typhoid, and leptospirosis. Solid waste prevents the flow of water. What solid waste does? Yes, it prevents the flow of water. So if you're going to take your computer, your old television, or an old drum, and you drop it into the drain, what do you think is going to happen? Yes, it's going to stop the water from flowing freely. And when you have those broken pipes and so on, and you keep throwing them into the trench over the road next to you, eventually when the tide goes down and the water doesn't have anywhere to go because the place has lots of grass and it's blocking these containers, so constant throwing would cause what? Yes, it would cause the drains and the trenches to be filled with garbage and cause the water to be stagnant. So water polluted with sewage causes deadly diseases. Then we talk about solid waste prevents the flow of water. Solid waste prevents the flow of water and contributes to flooding. Pesticides cause algae blooms. You know what is algae blooms? Now, algae blooms prevents oxygen from getting into the water. This causes the death of aquatic life because no water is passing through. For example, if you see all these lilies here, right, these are called algae, or these green mass that is here, right? The green mass is preventing the oxygen from going down into the water. So the fishes now are not getting the oxygen. And if they don't get the oxygen, they're going to eventually die, right? And the shrimp and so on, good. All of those things are eventually going to die because the water is stagnant. And all of the algae at the water surface prevents the oxygen from going into the water, correct? Some ways how we can help to control or how we can avoid water pollution. One, you and I, we can avoid dumping garbage in water. We can have a garbage disposal bin and we can drop them in there. We don't have to knot our bags and throw them into the trenches and so on nearby, or when we cross in the harbor bridge oh, we finished eating, so we drop them. Is the Demerara River, so we can throw them into the river? No, we should keep them on our person and take them home and put them in our bins. And when the garbage collectors collect garbage, they are going to dispose of it in a proper manner. So avoid dumping garbage in water. Ensure that drains, trenches, ponds, and canals are properly cleaned. And we can do that by ourselves, because we can clean our drains that are in front of us. When it starts having those algae, we take a rake and we rake it up at the side, okay? And with the dry now, it's going to dry and the water would have oxygen and it would not be polluted. Make laws. Allow the government to make laws to deal with people who pollutes the water. Ensure to purify all water before putting it to use. So it's not healthy that we go at the top and we say, oh, we need some water, and we take some water from the top there and we drink. No, we need to purify the water before we consume it. Right. Now, water can be purified by filtering, boiling, and chlorinating. Or we say throw a little bit of bleach inside. Yes. Sewage. Sewage should be treated before being drained into rivers, lakes, and ocean. So when the persons go and they draw this stuff out of your sewage, be it Severns, be it Purans, or so on, they go and they draw that stuff out of the septic tank there. Good. They need to treat that sewage before they throw it into the rivers or into the lakes or into the ocean. Regularly clean your drains. So when you see the drains are being filled and they're being clogged up, say, Daddy, Uncle, we need to clean the drain. Get the rake and go early in the morning or late in the afternoon and you clean up, right? Oil producing countries. Now, Guyana is now an oil producing country, isn't that so? Yes, we are a oil producing country now. So oil producing countries should have systems in place to get rid of oil spills. Be mindful not to overuse pesticides and fertilizers. Instead, what can we use? Right, we can use animal droppings or the manure from animals. So we need to educate people on the effects or the consequences of water pollution. Now here we're having one diagram showing a picture showing water pollution. Can you see here all of this garbage here? Now, does it look clean? Does it look healthy? Does the water look clean and healthy? No, the water doesn't look clean and healthy because one part is brown, the other part is kind of gray. Right, so that shows us that the water is polluted. Then we have a next picture showing someone spraying. Right, now that spraying can harm our water. Good, maybe it's pesticides, maybe it's weedicide. Okay, but all of those things are ways that our water is being polluted. We have two simple questions before we come to the end of this lesson today. Question 1. Water pollution is the A. Contamination of the air with impurities. B. Destruction to the earth's land surface. Or C. Contamination of water with impurities. Number 2. Which of the following is an effect of water pollution? A. Algae blooming. B. Flooding. C. Typhoid. Or D. all of the above? Again, question 1. Water pollution is the A. Contamination of the air with impurities. B. Destruction of the earth's land surface. C. Contamination of water with impurities. Number 2. Which of the following is an effect of water pollution? A. Algae blooming. B. Flooding. C. Typhoid. D. All of the above. Okay, let's recap for those boys and girls who weren't here with us from the beginning. What did we look at? We looked at water pollution. What did we say is water pollution? We simply say that water pollution occurs when harmful substances, often chemicals or microorganisms, contaminate a stream, river, lake, ocean, or other body of water, degrading the water quality and rendering it toxic to humans or the environment. Then we look at what are the causes of water pollution. We say that water is uniquely vulnerable to pollution, and water is known as a universal solvent. All right. It's the reason why water is so easily polluted. Okay, boys and girls, I hope you would have enjoyed, you would have learned something about water pollution. I am Miss Martina Archer saying bye for now, stay safe. Until our next lesson.